Good evening to all for this wonderful gathering for the program of STEM 23.0, which is a technical program which has been organized by the Department of Computer Science Engineering in association with Computer Society of India, Mumbai chapter. This event is being triggered by the Center of Skill Development of Department of Computer Science Engineering, will make a healthy relationship between the faculty and the students. And this program is a consecutive program done by the Department of Computer Science Engineering to make progressively the technological knowledge, which makes the aspects of the students as well as the knowledge of the faculties as well as the students to make it in a progressive way actually. So in today's we have different kinds of topics to be concentrate on the technological aspects. One is going to be taken by minds actually to be the topic on PyScript, in what way the Python is going to be adapted to the web level framework, and how the technological aspects like Python script is going to be taken in the programming language, and followed by Miss Abhita will taken about the Vue.js from final year, and Mr. 𝗀𝗶𝗴𝗏 from third year CAC is going to talk about the Google class. It is an interesting topic, and followed by Mr. 𝑟𝐼NR of second year CAC is going to talk about the virtual reality. It is also one of the latest topic which is related to the metaverse, which what presently we will call it with the keyword known as in metaverse, that related to again augmented reality as well as in virtual reality. So all these topics will give an awareness to the students as well as to the faculties to make how the trends is being going on in the field of an industrial revolution 4.0 where presently we are traveling now. So let me take my presentation now. So in today's session, we are going to take a topic which what we called as an PyScript, where we know about Python is one of an hottest topic in the programming language, especially while we talk about an artificial intelligence, data science, and as well as related to the web technology. So now the topic which is related to the PyScript, it is one of an currently a built-in project as well as the currently make it to be as one of the biggest aspects that what we are going to talk now. So let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Jothish Kumar, Head Department of CSE and convener of the program. So what is the background which is needed for the program, especially related to the PyScript? So when you take about Python in the last decades, we have seen about how the popularity that the Python is being taken in different kinds of versions, and you can see about what are the latest technologies that the Python is being supported, like an artificial intelligence, or it may be a data science, or it's mainly concentrate on the web framework actually. So till now the Pythons, whatever we use it for the integration with the web development, it is mainly taken in the backend framework like Django as well as a Flask. So this is a majorly which is being taken care now, especially in the name of a web program or a web technology actually. So what today we are going to make it on in the sense like script language, because script language is one of the ingredient for an HTML to make an any actions on the websites, to make an any kind of a feel on the websites, to make some kind of an intelligence on the website. We need some kind of scripting languages to be supported. Until now we have seen about, and JavaScript is one of the crucially which is needed to make that kind of effects whenever an action is going to be taken place in the websites. So there is an additional one people is going to be available over here. That's what today we call it as an PyScript, which is also like a JavaScript. It's also like a script language which is going to concentrate how the Python is going to be taken to the web level, or how the Python is going to take into the web framework. That is the one major aspects that we are going to see today. So what are the prerequisites we needed before going to taken over the PyScript? We need a text editor that most probably we will use a Notepad or a Notepad++, or you can take any other integrated development environment with editors, you can use it. You want to have a little bit of knowledge on Python, and you want to have a little bit of knowledge on HTML, because you are going to integrate the Python script, which what we called as an PyScript, in the HTML page, like whatever we done it in the previous, like when you design a web page, we need three kinds of peoples, or most peoples they are essentially needed. One what we called as an the front end framework, which is done by an HTML, and as well as the styling will be done by the cascading style sheets, and the actions will be taken by using the Scrum script language, and the connectivity which has been maintained at the background to be taken by the database, which what maybe the admin PHP admin. So a lot of things are add on with the web page to do this particular work. And the basic thing which we needed to take the Chrome, and which is recommended for the PyScript while we want to execute the program. So what is actually the PyScript? So PyScript is one of a front-end framework, because till now the Python when you take about the background work, when you see about the background work, the Python is being mainly concentrated on the backend framework like 𝙤𝙝 as well as the Flask. But PyScript is one of a major aspects that initially it has been taken as a front end framework that enables the users to construct the Python programs, especially in the HTML framework. That is very important. And it is also one of a comfortable programming language that has consistently styling rules, where it is being developed by a team of an Anaconda. That is because it's coming under the product of an Anaconda. And second thing is the PyScript is a word which is being triggered in the conference recently, which has been made over it. So that particular moment, they identify how the Python level, because the Python is going to be supported different kinds of packages like NumPy, Pandas, or OpenCV, which what we call as an open computer visions, mission level, deep level learnings. All this kind of things are supported by the Python, especially when it is integrated with an artificial intelligence and data science actually. So PyScript will take whatever the output that we taken in the session, like an Anaconda or a Jupyter or a Google Colab, how this kind of an outputs, when you go for some kind of analysis, when you go for writing some kind of graphs, when you go for some kind of flowcharts, when you go for some kind of analysis, how we can able to take that kind of input to the web design. So that is very important. So we want to write a separate code for that to make it to be available over there. But and we want to make it as an image, that image to be converted in the HTML. So all this kind of things are happening at the backside. But when PyScript is being available, we get an opportunity that we have a knowledge on Python. You write a Python code, nothing will be the problem, and you just make the Python code to be comfortably available inside the HTML area. That what the framework generally, we have the HTML started with an header, and starting with the body, the content what is going to have over it. So all these things to be supported by the PyScript also. So if you know about the basic level of Python, then you can able to, you don't want to support it on any kind of an environment like Python version like 3.7 or the advanced version, whatever we have. We want to have a separate software to be installed over it. But when you have the PyScript knowledge, you can write your own code, and to run their own code, even if you don't have any kind of a package is needed, that is a one text editor is comfortable for you, and you can write the code over there, and you can run it through the browser. So the dependability or less when you go for PyScript, and the output whatever you are taken to the web page. So when you take it to the web page, then it is going to be globally seen by all of the people, and especially when you go for analysis of data science as well as an artificial intelligence. So you can see about how to do this kind of aspects. So these are all the key points that to be related to the PyScripts, where in what way the PyScripts to be compared with the JavaScript, and in what way it is a main one of an application program interface, and what are all the scripts that to be supported by the JavaScript, it is also going to be supported by the PyScripts, and what are the web applications, and what are the different kinds of components are needed to run this particular aspect. So all this kind of things are coming under the PyScripts actually. When you take about why the PyScripts is needed, that is one of the important aspects that you want to make it, because we know that PyScripts gives you the programming language with consistent styling, like conventions and more expressiveness on easy to learn actually. So there are different kinds of aspects to be available. For example, one aspect is it will support on the browsers, because we know that PyScripts enables to support for Python for hosting without any need of a service or the configuration. So that is very important actually. When you go for interoperability, generally interoperability is one of the crucial part, not only in the programming language, in any kind of a technological aspects, how the old technology is going to be adapted with the new technology, or how the new technology can able to take in the advantages of its own, as well as what is the advantage which is available in the older version, how that version advantage is also going to be taken, or what is the disadvantage we identified, how that can be able to take into the compatible with the new technology aspect. So all this kind of things and all we will talk about with the name of an interoperability. Like whenever you're writing a program with a PyScripts or a JavaScript, so it will communicate having a bidirectional communication. That is very important, that you can write a code on JavaScript, or you can write a code on PyScripts that related to the codes. So interoperability will give will an opportunity to communicate bidirectional between the Python as well as the JavaScript objects and the namespaces. So what is actually the ecosystem? That is another one important aspect. So it's allow the users, that's the Python packages. There are different kinds of packages available like Pandas or NumPy, and many more like OpenCV. So all this MATLAB, which will able to plot the graph values. So all these things are the major ecosystem supported by the PyScripts actually. And the same thing like your framework flexibility. because there are different kinds of frameworks available, and how the frameworks can able to develop and how to create the extensible components of the framework to be adapted for the PyScripts. So all these things to be coming under one particular point, and especially the another one mostly important, which called as an environmental management. So that how the developers, that especially the developers need some kind of an environment conformability, and as well as to define the files as well as the packages to include in the pages, and how to run that kind of things. And especially another one important thing, the last one, that not the least, which what we called as a user interface development, that is related to the design aspects, like how the design is going to be taken care in the PyScripts actually. And what is PyScript tech stack? This is one of the important aspects. Still now the investigation is going on in this particular aspects, that how the PyScript is going to be supported, what extensively the peoples are available, something like that. So you can see at the bottom, there is one people is what we call as a WASM, which what we especially call it as a WebAssembly. So WebAssembly is one of the main ingredient, where it is a fundamental technology that makes it possible to write the website in Python. So if you want to write a Python code in the website, that the platform, that what the bottom which is available with WASM, which what specifically we call it as a WebAssembly, which will able to give and comfortable to write over the language, because it will have two kinds of format generally. What we generally know, that we have like a format when you write it in HTML, we have a .html format, whatever it may be. But when you write it in WebAssembly, we have two kinds of formats which we basically have. One is binary format, and another one is a text format. So we can able to know that if it is a human readable format, then it is a text format, and that will be available with the dot extension of .wat. Okay, so if you're free, when you're free, go for the particular extension and identify how that extension is going to be taken. .wat is one of the human readable text format, especially when you are taking in the WebAssembly. And when it is converted to the binary, because I just told that the WebAssembly will have two kinds of parts. One is your binary part as well as the text part. So the text part will be understandable by the human, will be in the form of .wat, and the binary format, which is going to be understandable by the machine, or going to be supported by the browser, which is going to be run over on the Chrome or any other browser. So that will be in the format of w.wasm. So this is the two way of formats which has been available. And another one major important things to be made to run all the packages which has been supported by the Python, like whatever we just called a NumPy or a Pandas, or it may be OpenCV, that to be taken by one crucial people, that what we call as a 𝗨𝗨, where you can see at the right hand side. So 𝗨𝗨 is actually the port of a C Python. You can see that there is a C Python which is available to the WebAssembly. So it make possible to install and run the Python packages in the browser with the one particular kind of a commands which we needed once if you want to run it over this particular stack, which what we generally called as a micro pip actually, that we will see one by one. So this micro script is currently a built-in 𝗨𝗨, that is a fundamental technology that makes it possible to write your website in the Python. So that's what the WebAssembly is going to be taken over here actually, which contain the namespaces and the support of your input and output, as well as the background the people is going to be supported by the scripts whatever you are going to write, and that everything is going to be taken in the JavaScript. When I have the deep investigation about the PyScript, whether the PyScript is being purely supporting the Python or any other background is available. But one thing to be very clear, when I go investigate about the code here, in the sense, one thing to be clear is that interoperability, that is it support the JavaScript, that is the backend, whatever the Python is going to be supported, or whatever the essential packages, or what are the essential files which is needed to run over the Python files, that are all written through the JavaScript. So JavaScript at the background is available. That is why you can see at the right hand side, whatever the PyScript is given, that is being taken by the name known as a JavaScript bridge. So this bridge represent about in what way you are going to give the link as a .js file, because we know that JavaScript file will be extension with .js file as a script file. So in that particular file, we are writing over all kind of an essential packages which is going to be supported by the Python, and that will be taken as a one of a link to the front end of the HTML file. So once it is being connected with the front end of the HTML file, then whatever the Python code that you can basically write it over with the knowledge like a simple program, that you can able to take it to the framework of an HTML, where you can able to display over in the browser. So this is one of the major stack which is going to be taken in the PyScript, that especially you want to know about two peoples. One is your 𝗨𝗨, that is very important actually, and the next one is your WebAssembly. So these two things are very especially needed over in the technical stack. And what are all the main components of the PyScript? So there are three basic basic things to be available in the PyScript, which is going to be supported. One is your environment, second one is a script, and third one is what we call as a REPL, which what we call as a read, evaluate, and print loop. Okay, so out of this three, the first one which is needed as an environment, suppose if you are writing a program and that program is going to be taken about like normal distribution or Poisson distribution related to statistical analysis, which combined with the data science as well as an artificial intelligence. So that particular moment of time, you want to include all the packages. For example, I'm going to plot some kind of values. So that particular moment of time, I need a package known as matplotlib packages I needed. When I want to take that particular values to an array, that the dimension which is going to take, and so that particular moment of time, I need NumPy. So when I want to include this all these packages, I need one common name or one common tag which is needed to make that support is nothing but your PYE1Y. That is what we call as an Python environment that we will see as an example. And second thing is a very simple one, and that is very essential one also. PyScript, that what the topic says. So PyScript is the one where if you want to write some kind of Java code and if you want to run it, that in that situation you can use a term known as an PyScript as an opening tag and closing tag. That we know that as in HTML we have the tags, some of the tags, other than some of the tags, there are most of the tags we have a closing and ending tags. All these tags or whatever you are seeing now, this also to be considered as a tag by the HTML. So Py environment is one HTML tag, one PyScript tag, and PyScript is also another one script. Generally, when you go and run over the JavaScript files, we use script as one of the tag. But here we are using PyScript, which is one of the tag, which is also having the both starting and ending tag. And the last one is also REPL, that when you run over the IDE environment, especially when you run in the Google Colab, you can run a single statement or a group of statements by using Google Colab. So that particular moment of time, whatever the environment that you are running, so that kind of environment, that is also you can take it to the platform of the browser. So we can see one by one in what way these three kinds of components will be executed. And second thing is another one thing I can able to learn from the topics which I able to go for investigation about the PyScript, that not only these three components are main, this is the essential one, but other than that, like whatever the web design concept like UI deployment, that user interface deployment which is needed, like a buttons, or it needed about the forms, or needed about some kind of an event like on focus, on click. So all these events also to be supported by the PyScript, but till now it is on the investigation stage. That is why when I read over about the Python script, there is one particular point they read over, it is in the alpha stage. So PyScript is not the full version it's going to be taken now. It is an version, it has been upgradation is been going on at the backside of the PyScript. So now presently what the version that we are going to work now will be called in the alpha stage. And this is a basic example about the Python environment, how that it allows to control your Python environment, like what I just told, that if you are running on any kind of a supportive packages for your program, that particular moment of time, that packages you want to write it in this syntax Python environment. Bokeh is also one of the visualization tool which is needed when you are running that kind of program. Otherwise, no need. We simply you can run the program with PyScript that we can see in one or two slides. And second one is a NumPy, Pandas. So all this kind of the packages which is needed to run the program if it is essential. So in that particular situation, you can use Py environment. And the next one, what we called as a PyScript. So when you go to the PyScript, so that what I just told about, we can able to see about two kinds of things over here. One is the relationship, whatever you are going to taken in this particular aspects, like how the format which is going to be taken, like for example, when you take the first line, we will generally use some kind of CSS actually. Okay, so here we use one kind of CSS that is going to be available in the website known as pyscript.net as an alpha version. Okay, so that is this alpha, and followed by there are going to supported by some kind of CSS. So pyscript.css, this is the one of the major file, and additional with it, it is also going to be supported by JS. That's what I just told. It is an interoperability. Whatever the Python code that we are going to write today, that is going to be written in the JS form, and whatever the packages that we are going to use today, that is also taken in the JavaScript. So at the background, all the scripts are written through the JavaScript, but front end, all this going to be supported by the term known as an PyScript. Okay. So at the background, all this kind of basic informations are written in the JS. So you can see over that inside the body, I'm just writing one line PyScript, and you know about how to take the general statement to be print over in the Python. So that is what we have been printed over this kind of statements. And finally, once any kind of a code that you want to write it, you can do any simple programs. And once you written over the program, you can close the script by using PyScript. This is a general example that you are going to taken over there. At the same thing, if you go for REPL, that what we called as an read, evaluate, print loop. So here also, like how the Google Colab, we will run the total number of instructions as a group of instructions. So all this kind of interactive Python prompt code, what generally when you are going to run over in your system while you install the software. So that particular moment of time, you will get this kind of experience. And this is another good example that I can given for you how to run the REPL, which will give you the real mode of an interactive while you run in the prompt mode actually. Let me go one by one and see the demo about the Python. Number one, we will see about some kind of basic instruction. You can see two things you want to take it in your mind. That is, one thing is you can see about two essential thing I will tell you. One is your style sheet, and you want to give the link to pyscript.css, and another one is pyscript.js. And don't forget to give the word pyscript. This is a word. Okay, and here you can see that we are importing some kind of date and time. For that, this is actually the pure Java code, which pure Python code we written over here now. And this Python code is going to be written inside the PyScript. You can see over here. Now you can generally run this particular program, like how the HTML page, you know how to run the HTML page. So in that particular situation, you can run over here. So once you run this, what especially we have seen about the stack, like PyScript and 𝗀𝗏, all these peoples and all will work at the background to make the program, or to make the whatever the packages which is essentially needed over that packages will be called, and that will be through, because these two things are available in the pyscript.net, and another one is the JS is also available in the pyscript.net. If you want, I will do some kind of investigation on this, where you can run this link separately, that you can able to know how the Python code are integrated in the JavaScript actually. Yes. So here you can see about the code, that whatever the supportive files which is being needed, all the supportive files are being taken in the JS. One thing which I identified, uh, that how the packages are going to be supported. That things I can able to identify. So here some of the files which is going to be taken over here. So here you can see that the word keyword 𝗀𝗏, okay, that is being taken over. So these are all the background JS file, how this files is going to be taken. And let I go for some kind of samples which is taken at the background. So all these things to be purely written in JS, but the supportive files, whatever the content which is being needed, that is being taken to support especially the PyScript. That you can see action listeners, and additionally they also taken care about the .css file. You can also see the handlers, what are the different handlers are available, because that is also needed while you go for handling some kind of Windows designs. So all these things are available in the file known as pyscript.js. Here you can see about how the files are taken in the date and time. Even the packages also separately available. Like you can see some kind of supporting files like split join. These are all the code which has been available in the Python. Okay, so they are integrating some of the files over here. These are all the some integrating files which is been needed. Let I will go and see some kind of samples for you, that how to run this program. Just simply you can run over the program. Once you're running itself, you can see not like a normal HTML program it will run, because it's going to represent the Python script.css as well as a JS file. Okay, so here you can see two kinds of things. One is, this is like a REPL. This is what the, because we told about three kinds of components available. One is environment, and second one is your PyScript, and third one is your REPL. So the thing what we called as an the environment, what we are going to take it over in the terminal mode. So here you can see like it will be like a Google Colab, that what you can able to write your own code, and you can able to run it like a printf. Even you can run the code also. You can run the normal Python code. Okay, so here you can see that you can run it, and you can write some kind of values. So all this kind of things, or you can able to done it using the REPL. So you can able to, even the environment what the needed, you can create your own environment by writing like this, actually, like whatever you see in the Google Colab, actually. And at the bottom we have written the common Python code to be make it over here. Okay, that strf frm time is nothing but standard string format time, that represent about your month, date, year, hours, minutes, seconds. So all these things are the basic things to be available to run the program. And second thing is, this is the very basic thing. For example, what we done it like, this is a normal Python program, but what I done it in the sense, I write the normal Python program, and I just take it this Python program inside the PyScript. So that is what the only things I done it. This you can able to know that list is one of the uh, thing which is available in the Python, and like slicing is also one of the concept which is available in Python. How the slice is going to be taken about. Slicing is going to divide the text, or able to make the where the partitions are needed. There are some kind of rounding the numbers, how the round the numbers are being taken. I'm going to round the numbers. So all these are all the basic things which is normally we can also run in the Python. But what I done it in the sense, my objective is how I can able to take it to the web page, because these things are available in the IDE. But how can I able to the API? Make it the statement, these things are available in IDE, but how can I able to the API, that this is an application program interface, that I want to take it to the web page. So this is a normal code. So if you know about Python, very simply you just you generate the normal format of the HTML. One thing in the sense, you want to add this two lines, that is the first line will represent about the CSS, second line will represent about the PyScript. These two lines you want added. Once you added these two lines, and you can started to write the PyScript and the heading of PyScript. Within that, you can write your own Python code. Maybe some people are familiar in Python to write the code, and they want to know how this Python code can able to visualize in the web page. So that kind of things and all, you can able to write the code, and very simply you can able to take it to the PyScript inside the PyScript, and you can able to make it very effectively. And you can see about, I am just make it out Python 2.html. Again it will load, because every time it will go and refer the two files, that is the pyscript.js file. That's what you can see, some kind of loading time. And the first one output is actually the slicing, which is made about out of Python program. Slicing 1 2 3 4 5 6, that is what the slicing which has been made over here, for the slice of 6 characters which is available in the text. And we have the range which has been available 2 to 6, we are having the range. So that is the range which has been fixed over. And the last one, we are getting the rounded value numbers which has been available. These are all simple level of program, but thing is how we can able to take it these programs to the web page. So that's what the PyScript stand over there. And we have some of the examples are available. Like this is one of the good example I can give it for REPL, which already I given over there. And another one is we can able to take in about the samples. Yeah, this is another one, but anyway I want to show you. Yeah, this is very important. So this is another good example that how the environment is going to be supported. So at present I am just having the program, that is how the environment is going to be supported. So here there are two kinds of environments I needed. One is numpy and second one is matplotlib. This is the two packages I needed. I already told that any packages is going to be supported by the Python, that to be taken in the Py environment. So this is the two packages which is being needed, that has been taken over here. At the bottom you can able to start to do the, this is the normal Python program. So this is a normal Python program, you can write it. To do that, we need one supportive, that you want to write it in the Python environment, that what are all the environments that to be supported, not only numpy, even you can also run OpenCV, and Pantos. So all this kind of because OpenCV is more crucial needed, where especially in machine learning, like object detection, object counting, all these things. That thing you can directly take into the web page, so that will be make more interactive, and you can share it, and you can also host it over in the website. That will give more attraction, as well as the active which is given for the particular content. And when you go to the bottom, you can see that this is a normal Python code that we written. Import the particular package and make some kind of name for that, and alias the name as well as the numpy, and we use the general the script like random, where we'll get some kind of random dots with the values of 100, and we are going to subplot. So subplots is one of the additional method which has been available in the matplotlib to design the graph, to design the axis, and make the scatters to be available. So let I run this particular program. So here you can able to see about, there will be one kind of a screen which has been available. That screen is going to be taken about subplots, that is taken about 100 subplots is going to be taken in x and y axis, and this is going to be available in the Py3. Yeah. So here you can able to see about how the plotting is going to be taken. Let it take some kind of loading time, that is initialize what are all the components which is essentially needed for that program, which taken about the numpy as well as the matplotlib files. So all these things going to be supported by the environment. So here you can see the output. So this is the output what generally the peoples will get this kind of outputs while they are running over in Google Colab or in their by using any Python platform with an IDE. But now we are able to make this kinds of platform that you can directly take into the web page. So you don't need any additional components, or you need any additional interfaces needed to make that how the work whatever we done it, that we can able to take into the web page. So you can write the own code, run the program on the HTML basis, that will provide you the source for you. Even some people are working with Python, and they are creating some kind of data science related, or they are creating some kind of object detections. So these people can utilize this particular PyScript object, and you can also have an opportunity to work it with the web level. At the same time, you can also have an opportunity to have an one step forward on your data science as well as an artificial engine. So this PyScript is also one of the startup one, but anyway you can able to practice over and make them something to be comfortable. So that will take you the good output, as well as the good analysis that you can able to do it in the Poisson distribution or normal distributions, or any other analysis through the standard deviation. So like all this kind of statistical analysis can able to effectively through this particular web pages you can do it actually. So this is, I'm just going to stop my presentation, and for any further information you can go for arunai.org STEM. Thank you for make this opportunity and pleasingly available in this particular program. So the next person is Miss Abita from Final Year, can take over the session.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good evening, one and all. Present here, welcome to STEM 23.0. I am Abhita from final year in Computer Science Engineering. Today we saw about Vue.js. Vue introduction. Vue is a progressive framework for binding user interfaces. The core library is focused on the view layer and is easy to pick up and integrate with other libraries or existing projects. On the other hand, Vue is also perfectly capable of powering sophisticated single page applications. Progressive framework is a framework that you can insert into your projects as you feel the need for it. Differently of other JavaScript framework like Angular that since the beginning you need a full project make in Angular, follow the Angular rules. This implies you need to learn a lot of things to start programming with Angular. Vue also you make just specific part of your application. You learn just what is necessary for the problem you are dealing with, or if it is necessary and you have time, you can learn more and make full complex front-end application 100% Vue. While Angular offering data binding to deal with the DOM without having to touch it directly, there were still extra concepts that demanded code be structured a certain way. Vue had this efficiency but was even more lightweighted. History. It was created by Ivan Yu and is maintained by him and the rest of the active core team members. Vue was created by Ivan Yu after working for Google using AngularJS is several projects. He later summed up his thought process. I figured, what if I could just extract the part that I really like about Angular and build something really lightweighted. The first source code commit to the project was dated by July 2013 and Vue was first released the following February in 2014. Why Vue.js? Component-based UI development. Vue's and React's considerable libraries of components, specialty code reuse, improve developer productivity and speed up the development process. Focus on the Vue library. Separate concerns for routing, state management, etc. Official component library for building mobile apps. Quick long awaited in Vue but now supported in both tools. Usually, React was created for the purpose of targeting specific needs at Facebook and it contains to make maintained elegant programming style and patterns, easy learning curve. Architecture. View model. An object that synchronizes the model and the view. In Vue.js, every view instance is view model. This is the primary object that you will be interacting with as a developer with using Vue.js. View. The actual DOM that is managed by Vue instance. Vue.js uses DOM based templating. Each Vue instance is associated with a corresponding DOM element. When a Vue instance is created, it recursively walks call child nodes of its root element while setting up the necessary data bindings. After Vue is compiled, it becomes reactive to data changes. Model, a slightly modified plain JavaScript object. Models are simply plain JavaScript objects or data objects. Once an object is used as data inside a Vue instance, it becomes reactive. Directives, prefixed HTML attributes that tell Vue JS to do something about a DOM element. Directives can encapsulate arbitrary DOM manipulations. For example, we attribute manipulations and element attributes. We repeat clones an element based on array. We on attaches event listener. Vue.js versus Angular. Vue.js is slowly gaining a place, a good competitor for Angular in future. Angular highly popular. Root with background capability. Angular projects developed in AngularJS cannot be converted to Angular due to core differences. Vue.js does not have all the built-in features as Angular and needs to depend on the third-party libraries to work on it. Angular provides a lot of built-in features. We have to import the required models and get started with template. Vue uses an HTML-based template syntax that allows you to declaratively bind the redundant DOM to the underlying component instance data. All the Vue templates are syntactically valid HTML that can be parsed by synchronized compiled browsers and HTML processes. Vue compiles the templates into highly optimized JavaScript code. If we are familiar with visual DOM concepts and prefer the raw power of JavaScript, you can also directly write render functions instead of templates with optional JSX support. However, do not enjoy the same level of compile time optimizations as template components. Components are one of the most powerful features of Vue.js. They help you extend basic HTML element to encapsulate reusable code. At a high level, components are custom elements that Vue.js compiler would attach specified behaviors to. In some cases, they may also appear as a native HTML element extended with the special is attribute. Syntax to create component. View.component. Name of the component. Example of component. Single file component. Single file component is a special file format that allows us to encapsulate the template, logic and styling for a Vue component in a single file. Single file components are similar to regular components, but there are a few key differences which can make a single file component the better tool for your projects. They can be defined locally instead of globally. CSS styling information is included in the component definition. How it works. We have our data which contains a getter and setter functions for each data property. When a setter is invoked, it sets a new value for the data property and also notifies a watcher which is attached to Vue instance. This watcher is responsible for reacting to data changes. It triggers a re-renders of the template by calling a render function, which is basically a function that is responsible for re-rendering a Vue instance for component. Components communication. Parent-child component communication. To move data from a parent component to a child component in a Vue, we use something called prawns. React.js also uses a similar convention for sharing data. Prawns is short for properties and is referring to properties sets from outside, such as from the parent component, in order to tell the Vue child component that it will receive data from outside of its own instance. You need to set up the prawns properties in the Vue object of the child component. This property holds an array of string, which each string representing a property which can be set from the parent. Note that prawns are strictly for one-way communication from the parent to the child, and you do not want to trying and change the value of prawn directly in the child component. Otherwise, you will get an error of something like avoid mutating prawn directly, since the value will be overwritten whenever the parent component re-renders. Instead, use a data or computed property based on the prawns value. Advantages. Small. The success of JavaScript framework depends on its size. The size of the framework is 18 to 21 KB and it takes on the time for the users to download and use it. Easy to understand. One of the reasons for the popularity of this framework is that it is quite easy to understand. Simple integration. Vue.js is also popular among the web developers because it specialities them to integrate with the existing application. Flexibility. A great deal of flexibility is another advantages of Vue.js. It allows the user to write this template in HTML file, JavaScript file and pure JavaScript file using visual nodes. This flexibility also makes it easy to understand for the developers of React.js, Angular.js and any other new JavaScript framework. Demo. Now we are going to see demo for Vue.js. Open the command prompt and type cmd command on it. And they type cd desktop and type npm int view at latest. It will download resources of Vue.js. Type the project name and allows all the required permissions. Type the project name, then install npm by using npm install command. If there is no error found on that, then process to run by using the command npm run dev. Then copy the localhost address and paste it on your search engine bar. It will be directed you to vue.js page. Now we will see how to run the vue file. Firstly, we need to create the Vue file and other packages for running the applications. Now type the npm run server command for run the program. Again, we need to copy the localhost address and paste it to a browser. This is our project login page. This is the Vue.js code for that applications. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Savita, for your presentation about the framework, what you done it about the Vue.js. We identified that you progressively made your slides to be having a nice presentation, and you prepared well for this particular STEM program. So on behalf of the Department of Computer Science Engineering, I appreciate your the level of the stress that you make it out and make the program to be a progressive one. Now I call Mr. 𝗀𝗃 from third year CSE to take you on Google Class.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining. Let me introduce myself. I am 𝗀𝗃 from third year CSE department. I am here today to present about Google Glass. The presentation is structured as follows: introduction, hardware, how it works, demo, conclusion. So let me first give you a brief overview of Google Glass. Google Glass is a wearable computer featuring a head-mounted display in the form of eyeglasses. The Google Glass functions as a hand-free smartphone. Testing, user access the mobile internet browser, camera, maps, offers, other apps by voice commands. When the first version was launched in 2013, consumers immediately voiced their concern of the Google Glass being an invasion of privacy. This offers an augmented reality experience by using visual, audio, location-based inputs to provide relevant information. For example, upon entering the airport, a user could automatically receive flight status information. Let's now move on to timeline of Google Glass. At April 2012, the product began testing, and Surgery Brain wears a prototype, a set of glass at the Foundation Fighting Blindness event. At April 2015, the product is cancelled because of the privacy concerns. At July 2017, it is officially back with a clearer vision. At July 2018, Google Glass is integrated with artificial intelligence to improvement of image recognition. At 2019, Google announced Google Glass Enterprises Edition 2. We can see elaborated about it next slide. At 2020, the update removes the need and ability to use your Google account on glasses. Let's now take a look at technologies used in this. Wearable computing. It is an electronic device that is worn by the wearer under, with or on top of clothing. also known as body-worn computers. Example, Apple Watch, fitness trackers, Fitbit. 4G technology. It is the fourth generation of mobile computing technology. It provides ultra broadband internet access. Google OS. Google OS or Google Xe is a version of Android OS designed for Google Glass. At next, iTap technology. It is a device that is worn in front of an eye that acts as a camera to record the scene available to the eye, used to allow the user eye to operate the monitor. Ambient technology or intelligence. This provides the seamless integration of the device to the electronic environment. They are sensitive and responsive to the presence of people. Smart grid technology. Smart grid is the technology used to assemble the information in an atomic fashion to enhance the potentially and the distribution of electricity. Hardware. The hardware used in this are touchpad, located on the side of a Google Glass, allowing user to control the device by swiping through a timeline-like interfaces displays on the screen. Camera. Google Glass has the ability to take photos and record at 720 pixel HD video. While video is recording, the screen stays on. Display. Liquid crystal on silicon. Field sequential color and LED illuminated display is used. Microphone. 3-field beam forming microphone is used. Battery. The battery used in this is lithium-ion battery. CPU. OMAP 4430 system on chip. Dual-core processor. Prism is the Google Glass redirects images to your eyes. This prism is semi-transparent. Speakers. Speakers on Google Glass is a bone conditioned speaker. The speaker sends vibration that travels through your skull to your inner eye. Google Glass Enterprise Edition 2. Google Glass Enterprise Edition 2 is the latest version of Google Glass. It's built on Qualcomm Snapdragon XR platform, which is a feature significantly more powerful multi-core CPU and a new AI engine. This enables significant power saving, enhanced performance, and support for computer vision and advanced machine learning capabilities. Enterprise Edition 2 features improved camera performance and quality, which builds on Glass existing first-person video streaming and collaboration features. It also supports Android Enterprise's mobile device management. This leads directly to my next point, how it works. To illustrate this, let's have a closer look. This Google Glass operating system is based on version of Android. This OS can run application virtualization tool called Glassware that are optimized for the device. Glassware that are optimized for this device and allows the device to deliver an app to user. Instead of full desktop, the Glass have built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity. The Smart Eyewear was motion voice recognition to process commands from the wearer. The touchpad is also available on the glass rim to provide the requested information. The device relies on sending small packages of information straight to the wearer through the microprojector. Google Glass then uses a field sequential color FSC liquid crystal on silicon system to display the image on the lens. Let's now take a look at features. The ability to take photos and videos, then share exactly what the user is seeing through Google Hangouts. The option to use the Google search engine through the glass using Wi-Fi. The ability to translation streamed straight to wearer through the screen. Support of both voice and video calls. In the video calls, Wearers can show the other person exactly what they are looking at instead of taking face to face. The ability to answer emails and text messages using voice dictation. It has the ability to respond to facial and head movements, such as allowing the user to flick their head to scroll through a page or operate the device with eye movements. As I said earlier, the pros of Google Glass are solid processing power, lightweight, and design. The solid processing power, Qualcomm Snapdragon XR1 quad core up to 1.0 GHz 10 nanometer, lightweight. The weight of the Google Glass is around 36 gram. Design. The outcase is crafted in titanium and the battery is well hidden. And now the concerns of Google Glass are designed. Few applications are intended for the developers, so there are only a few applications available natively. Power glasses. It is difficult to use for the people who had eyesight problems. Display. The screen can only be worn in front of the right eye. At last, privacy concerns. Public authorities and privacy invaders. Google Glass can also be used by people who would like to capture the image without the permission. The future invaders will not only be efficient in obtaining photos and videos, but they will much be better able to track us. Security breach may have harsh consequences on the owner of the compromised data. Ethics of using the device in public is maybe vary and recording people without their permission. Demo.
Here are the basics of how to use Glass. This is your touchpad. It runs from your temple to your ear. Tap the touchpad to wake up Glass. You should see the display above your line of sight. Adjust it to see everything. The home screen shows a clock. This is your timeline. It's a row of cards. Things to the left are happening now or coming up, like the weather, an upcoming flight, or an event in your calendar. You can tap on any card to see more. Swipe down anywhere to go back to the timeline. Cards to the right of the home screen are from the past, for example, messages, videos, or photos. Tap on a photo to share it, and choose one of your friends. Swipe down to go back to standby. And have fun exploring.
Conclusion. As a final point, I'd like to share my thoughts. The social amplification of Google Glass is a new technology or sweeping. The augmented reality aspect of the products and free interface provides a new take on familiar smartphone technology. It focusing on high-value areas like retail augmented reality for users. Thank you.
Thank you, 𝗀𝗃, for your wonderful speech on Google Glass. Try to make it some kind of real-time example, like whatever you given in the video. If possible, maybe in the forthcoming session, we will try to buy at least the layer of a Google Glass that we can show it as a demo for the students as well as for the faculties, if possible.
Yes, sir, sure, sir.
Yes. So the next participant is Mr. INR from second year CSE to take over the session on virtual reality.
Good evening to all. Welcome to STEM 23.0. Let me introduce myself. I am INR, Department of Computer Science Engineering, second year. Table of content. In the sections, we are going to see what is virtuality, why it is needed, and the working principle. Introduction. This technology is popular and fashionable in current decades. Jaren linear was introduced the world back in 1987. Virtual reality may also include auditory stimulation through speakers or headphones. Probably 90% of our perceptions of the world in visual or auditory history. Today's virtual reality technology built upon ideas that date back to 1800s, almost to the very beginning of practical photographs. In 1838, the first stereoscope was invented using twin mirrors to project a single image that eventually developed into the Vue Masters patent in 1939 and still produced today. Our milestone was Sensorama in 1956. What is virtuality? Virtuality is popular name for observing interactive computer mediated experience in which person perceives a synthetic environment by means of special human computer interface. Virtuality does not imitate real reality or does it have a representational functions. Why virtual reality? Reality is a kind of digital reality, a way of using technology to create environment designed for expressly human interactions. Virtual, replicated often digitally. Reality, what we consider real as pieced together from sensory inputs. Virtual reality was augmented reality. Virtual reality, visually immersive the user with a simulated object and environment. Augmented reality overlays computer generated 3D content on the real world. Compute completely shut down the real world and make user think that they are really in the virtual world. User is able to interact with the real world and the virtual world. User find it hard to differentiate between virtual and the real world. User can clearly distinguish between both the worlds. It is achieved by virtual reality headsets. It is achieved by smartphones, tablets, or augmented wearables. Working. Artificial intelligence and machine learning may rely on rely on pre-processed image and video data to identify objects in the environment. Virtual reality is a technology that simulates visions to end up with the 3D environment in which a user appears to be immersed. Future. Virtual reality is one of the technology with the highest project potential for growth. The latest forecast from IDC Research 2018 investment in virtual reality and augmented reality will multiple 21-fold over the next from years. We are reaching 15.5 billion errors by 2022. It has more device and a large user communities to the connected. Scope. Virtual reality. Imagine takes taking lecture in the hall at the school and the college by sitting in your room or watching the game for your favorite sports from the VIP section from the your home. Apart from the game and the movie, virtual reality can also be used to reality museum and the virtual reality theme parks. Applications of virtual reality. Healthcare. The most important way of virtual reality is modernizing healthcare is through training, educational. Even though educational is believed to be a rather slow industry to pick up new trends and technologies, space and military. The two industries have to operate in rather dangerous environment that can't be easily accessed. Social science and psychology. This industry relies on virtual reality so that a patient and embedded embody someone embody someone else and imagine reality from a different different perspective on the advantage of virtual reality. Would variability and customization provide safe and controlled environment, various area of implementation, extensive psychology effect of virtual reality.
Immersive technologies comprising of virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality are amongst the fastest growing and fascinating technologies today. So, what is immersive technology? To put it in a nutshell, immersive technologies create or extend reality, and this is done by immersing the user in a digital environment having applications in different domains. This technology is gaining momentum with every passing day and transforming and helping us reimagine the future. Let's start with virtual reality. Virtual reality uses VR headsets to create a simulated environment and helps an individual to immerse into it to experience an entirely different reality. However, the historical journey of virtual reality began back in 1800s. This marvelous idea has been evolving from the time practical photography came into existence. Morton Heilig invented the first VR device called Sensorama in 1957. His multimedia device, the Sensorama, is considered one of the earliest VR systems. However, the term virtual reality was coined later by Jaron Lanier in 1987 during his intense research on this evolving technology. A lot of companies are investing billions of dollars in the VR sector. Some of the best VR products are Oculus Quest, Nintendo Labo VR Kit, Sony PlayStation VR, Lenovo Mirage, and many more. These gadgets enable an individual to immerse in a digital environment to experience a world which is different from reality. You might think VR is all about gaming, isn't it? But the potential of VR is not there. It's revolutioning many other industries like education, military, medicine, and sports, to name a few. Here are some examples of VR in real life. Class VR is an innovative new concept in the education industry which uses VR tech to and Class uses VR headset interface for both students and teachers, gesture control, and embedded educational resources. Facebook is coming up with a new idea called Facebook Horizon, which is an ever-expanding VR community where you can explore, play, and create. It helps you to define physics and reality and experience the impossible. And we also have VR 360, which is a 360-degree audiovisual simulation. It allows the user to look around in any direction, just like how they look and observe things in real life. You can experience anything from standing on top of a pyramid to enjoying Tomorrowland sitting at home. Isn't that wonderful? We can't end the topic if we didn't highlight the role of VR in gaming. A great take on this is the movie Ready Player One by Steven Spielberg. The film is set in the year 2045 where the world is on the brink.
Yes, thank you, Mr. INR. The presentation, what you give it on the virtual reality, which makes some reality on the aspects of what you comes over it. But anyway, I'm happy as a second year you've taken more effort on doing this presentation, and the some kind of the keywords sensorama, like the keywords are really give some informatives to the students while they have been talking about the virtual reality. But take it forwarded, like concentrate on demo. That's what I can able to say for all the students actually. And I think today what the aspects that the STEM is been moving on, and what the aspect that what actually the skill development, what the student is actually want to improve, that Miss Abita from final year CSE has appropriately taken that aspects to say about the demonstration that they given over it. For career also, I just want to make it because this is one of the product like a Google as a class, so we need to give that demonstration of on buying that aspects actually. So anyway, but totally I've been happy with all the three people have given some kind of aspects, and some new information can we can able to attain from the STEM program. That is the one of the crucial idea and crucial aspects related to this program, and what way as a competent, and as well as in what way the faculties as well as the students can enrich their knowledge in technological aspects. That's very important, especially the updation in the learning, because everyone is a learner in the field of computer science engineering, especially in the name of an information science. I think this STEM program is providing one of the platform for Arunai students as well as a faculty in the name of a computer science department with the name of a center of skill development in association with Computer Society of India. And thank you all for this wonderful present. And shortly we will meet on the next session to be on the forthcoming sessions and forthcoming month in 24.A with new versions and new kinds of updates to be given for you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.